wanyo ajepo egbene no ko chombi oba ajepo ko chombi oba ajepo no san wo gbele mi no wo keji Israel bi na me ba nina Egypt bi lo am ba in Egypt na me ba fe gbeme ko me be ni cho de ne o cho Egypt e omo eja ke Bible e poke Egypt yo omo no me be Israel be ni Egypt yo Israel be no me Israelite say ta frache am to kpla lo no am be he ko me che Egypt ye ni mani ne ye kusunke no fe no am ba mo na to amegbe na eje me mo ko la me ba ni na kusun ni mene afio eja ke si keji o botemi eko te frache no ne oni me pe yo again wo game Israel bi ji wo amenye pa me no akesi Egypt e yo mo dan Israel bi ba ni ameke kusun ko me to ni bi ai mi jo ake no ko to no ko to mo te frache keji afobile gbipa anyo no sana wolegbe no wogama kusuni abache nu kenu njile abache leketia wogame wakusuni si jemen mimbi midenche mimbi yake naka eja ka mame ke Abraham kenyumo femini ekele tiapan lo ekele kakita ke o ke fobi nu be ba lo ekole be no ame ke ba hawo si agbene no na se ni ake ni gbeke jimi na fomi yega afomi ye Gamashie ye wekusiami mbanina nikeji enungbo ake nga akele ha ese honu lo nyemi bibi onu na ekele hionsi na ekele fo ni nakani e Israel bi akusumi no ani nakani bi ne ha ni Israel bi jiwolo alo tafrache okpe eko ni wakase wohe ni ake ni wo ye omo e lo wo mediji wo yo omo ni Israel bi ba ni na wo keke o ba feta wo ye ne kan ji bo ni wo yo no be bon hin sinaka na me wan ba hin sinaka I don't know
she ye gbamomi ake o ake Gambi je Nigeria me chomo Nigeria ile ife ke
Togo ile ife le Nigeria
ye Togo ni ami ani Germany Gamashie bi hu chomo ke ba she ni wo yo bia
neke sanene je Gamashie bi pe eja ke si nka ko ye research e mo mi ne chon wa ke mediji enu mi ble mako eche denche ninu mi woji mancheme ye Egypt lo jemeji inde ake na kan bia mi ni Israel bi lo eja ke nu mi ame begbe Abraham Jacob ke bi e ba ni na wo eje mele nde gbe ninu mi ake cho ame eja ke woloko e choko gbe un ni ake cho ame si age we ko nke mi ake si mini ba ni me di jien si na kan Egypt ke chon Sudan unke ba south of the Sahara one ni susu yolo tafrache nye ni nke njwemo afi no fancy Kenya ko ulo e bi e fiu ni coffee e bi e chon mi gbe ko ake o ibo ni mo no mi ake mi ni ke gba lo gbabo e bo ngbo no kan ate mi ni ke ba he like ke ba no na bi na fe nsusu aunque alo je mo won wo fita e nu wo jofu aun wo ka se nu se te fra je le fe wo je no na yo si wo fue je mi be agbe ba Homowo ye mi alo je naga no ma sumo no bi ho sa na ko ni magba ma so
mini ke Homowo ba
Homowo ta fra je ke ma bi ni ye ko mi ni fi o nyen mo nye na ni sika o hien fu e ta fra je o be ko mi ni baba wokola ke tomo bi ene nu oyo ni na nye wo so lo ni wa nsho mi be wa chomo loyi ami mi male no bia ne feto mo wo hye bia be waka wonye wa nsho mi wonye wa akọ emi eja ka nye wo se keje ko emi no ba hye bia no wo beneke wo se nye mo na nye ne ni tafra che wonye wo fe nmu no duni no pa ni tafra che aye no ke gbele ke ni bi ba helai ke ni bi no he ni wa to no nye wo fe nmu no duni ni no pa ni no ha me lo wo fe wo ye ko mi no ke ji no ji no ni ke Homowo ba eja ko ko Homowo alo wo gama so ke wo migrate ke ba no ke o migrate money nyo se na ipa ko se yen mo bo pa fueje no te fi o ten o na agbe no dun ni o pa so na ke si akọ ake neke wo ma dun mo ke ni bi po e want mo sinle want mo mi ero mo ji mi ni tafra chen ya ngma mo mi nchun ma mo nutu mo fe ni nko amake te won noko fe mo kaji except como be ami no ka fi okuso that time me sani okwafu ya me mfe mi ni ame kwa me ngosi amba hu amba sa me mo mi ame ba duni na me bakpa etomo boni wo fi o ma dumo no ni na gambia ame keji tafrache o ya boy kola ko boy o ya hu mo mi no adun ni be ba se no ba pa ni nye me mi bi yen sa ko dun ni opa ni ko jo dun ehun besa no sai eja ekeje ekwen jo ehun ba e no sai mi ni baba ba ye ni no dun eno no na nuko no ba pa
po na shimambia ke mini ji wo gamai ahemo ke yili ko mi
ni ji wo beliefs wo believe ake si taprache ko gboko no hani ayon pai na ko ake ganyo lo gafo mo bi ko na su o ka ke su lo ko na edin o ka ke edin e ja ke si tafrache mini ba ni po bo gafo mo bi no le lo akebu jebu ni obeni akebu po dago chi wo hien mi ololo lo be no ba da won na kan ni ebote osusu mo mi ojo mo mi no ani ka ba wo bigbe na akọ aka aya wo bilegbe ye esian etema lo eni ma asian ye na eje ni atawo moko ni tafra che mene onyo ka ke o ka juba pete lo
Ago Ghana be fan. Afi, one care, Afi Ayani Ebani now. We welcome you back to our second day of Clock TV's special coverage of this year's Homowo Festival. We started yesterday with the Twin Festival, and today we are, delving deeper into understanding the traditions of the Ghan people. And it's not just, focused on traditions. We are not just going to be talking about migration. We are going to look at food. We are going to look at music. We are going to look at dance. The exciting parts of being a Ghan. If you want to know everything, you need to stay with us here on Culture and Festival. My name is Miriam Abna Adede, and I have my co-host here with me, Beatrice Bampo Ado, who is going to be doing more of the Ghan. Yeah, and I'll be doing the translations. And to our surprise, we have two amazing, people with us in the studio. And I don't know if Beatrice is going to introduce them to us. Beatrice, would you like to do that?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
So, we have the Queen Mother of La Agbawe Peleng, and she is the person of Najuyo Oshedu Wobolojuete. Then we have Mr. Nate, Samuel Nate, and he's a historian. He's a lover of Ghan history, and therefore they are going to educate us.
I had to run away
from name. I know, right?
Run away from mentioning her name. I needed that kind of power, and I knew you would do that for us. We welcome you all to our show today. How do we say welcome in Ghan?
It depends on the circumstance.
Okay.
You can say atu.
Okay.
You can say enale. That is when you know that the person is coming.
Okay.
And then the person comes. Enale, there she is.
Okay.
Or there he is.
Okay.
Sometimes too we say obake. Obake, when we have waited for a very long time for your arrival, we say obake. So for us, once again, it depends on the circumstance.
Okay.
That warrants that welcoming feel.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Then I would like to say enale.
Hello,
Anyways,
You knew I was coming. Okay, so
nah, take it easy.
It's appropriate.
Okay.
It is appropriate.
Okay,
Actually, because you knew I was coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, I want us to start with this conversation before we even get into understanding our tradition. You can see three of us are in red. We are cladded with red. What is happening today and why are we in red? Now, would you like to take that?
No, she has to
Okay.
take that.
Okay.
Gadan beto ife abladia bimba manje ha manje hu acho mi naju yo osedu wobolojo ete chofaye lo njela agbawe pele mene afi beni ni metu ne shameno na me yoji Gamashie Gamashie jo neke afi ne da afi. But there's a real reason why, when it's time for Gamashie, Usu, and the Gbuglan areas to celebrate, they clad in red. That's because during the time of the famine, they experienced a lot of lives lost. So by the time there was bumper harvest, most of them were mourning. And they cried and they mourned, because there they were with food, but they had lost a lot of lives to famine. So that is why when it's time for Gamashie, Usu, and other areas, you find them using the color red to celebrate the bumper harvest as well as hoot at hunger.
You, Mr. Nati, you are a historian, a motivational speaker, and all that, marketing consultant and all that. Now, why do you think the celebration of Homowo Festival helps or is significant in preserving our culture?
And amazingly, anytime we want to talk about a group of people, we have to identify them. Identification. Identification simply means your uniqueness as compared to other people. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And when we are also talking about culture, there are 4 pillars that holds culture. And these 4 pillars, when you identify these 4 pillars, you could realize that that is what transcends in every other culture. And that is what brings the identity. The first one is what we call marriage ceremonies. That's the first pillar of a culture. The second one is what we call naming ceremonies. The third one is when we are doing burial ceremonies. And the final one is festivals. You realize that every culture you see, they have the way they run their marriage ceremonies, they have the way they run their naming ceremonies, they have the way they run their burial ceremonies, and finally with their festivals. That is unique from all. Okay, so these things are worth identified. When you are able to identify these things, then they are worth being preserving. Because the moment you lose focus with these pillars of your culture, basically you are now diminishing or deleting your identity from other people. So preservation of culture, particularly in line of these pillars, is what brings your uniqueness, your identity, and your distinction from other people.
You
So
are
it is
a
worth
Ghana
it.
yourself, right?
I'm a Gadangbe. We are twins, but we'll talk about that.
Okay, Beatrice, do you have any flaps or would crossover?
Okay, so I want us to go a bit on our discussion. We'll go back to the migration story. We are coming from somewhere. We were a people before we got to where we are now. I want to ask, do you believe in the ideology that we came from Israel, passed through somewhere in Nigeria to Togo and all that to settle in where we are now? Do you believe in that?
Every country, amazingly, there's always a movement of people. But there is the unfortunate thing about the Ghana people. I just don't want to talk about the Ghana people. Anywhere I sit and I want to talk about the Ghana people, we call them the Gandangbe people because they are twins. So you can never talk about one twin and leave the other twin. Now, in a situation where the twins are of the same genders, you see all of them together at the same time.
Exactly.
But when they're of different gender, like there's a female and a male, you hardly see the two of them together because the female must be identified with a gender and the male with a gender, okay? But there is no way you can talk about the Ghana people and leave the Dangbes behind. It's highly impossible. They are twins. So in my presentation, you see me mentioning things like the Kandangbe people, even though we are talking about the Gamashie. So because they are twins. Secondly, I'll make mention of some few things, like I'll be talking about centuries. I'll be talking about diamonds. I'll be talking about decades, and I'll be talking about jubilees. Basically, when we say a century, it's a period of 100 years. And when we say diamond, it's a period of 75 years. And when we say jubilee, is a period of 50 years, and a decade is just 10 years. Because we are talking about migration, these technologies will come into the discussion for the purposes of our discussion and our viewers out there so that they can relate to the picture. You could realize that when you want to talk about genealogy, how civilization started way, way, way back, there is a particular country that was never mentioned earlier, but there was a man who was mentioned, and the man's engagement with that country is why the country was mentioned. So I'll make reference to Genesis account in the Bible. Abraham was mentioned. But before they mentioned Abraham, there was a bigger city that was already established. But they didn't mention that city, okay? But Abraham was the only person who was mentioned as he started it, because that was when God wanted to connect to man. But that's not what we're talking about. But you can't talk about festival without deities and supremacy. It's also not. So Abraham was chosen. He walked out of his family and he ran. But in the journey of Abraham's relationship with his people and God, according to scriptures, he had a challenge called famine, which the Ghanaians also experienced. So he had to go to a place for solace, a greener pasture. And guess where he went? Egypt. And that was the first time Egypt was mentioned, as if that was a new city, but it was there before. Out of the belly of Egypt, a nation called Israel was birthed. So when there is no Egypt, there is no Israel. Are you understand it?
Yeah.
And when we go back again before Egypt, you realize that something also started before. Another civilization started. And you realize that when you read the same Bible, Genesis account, they said there are some people who came together, they want to build a particular tower, they want to reach God. And these people want to reach God. There's one key thing that was mentioned, unity. They are one in mind, one in heart, and one in language. So they understand themselves and they speak the same language. And in as much as they are trying to do what they want to do, because of that focus, they were not discouraged. But finally, something happened. God didn't want what they were doing. So he brought segregation. And the segregation is now, we don't have to agree in mind. We don't have to have that love for one another. And we have to speak different language. From my setting, that is where civilization started. And I can say, without accurate evidence, that is where Ghana people also started. Because different people were speaking different language. And were identifying themselves. And that was where ethnicity began. I speak these people's language. I connect them. I reason with them. I want to go with them. That is where first migration started. And then another nation was born called Egypt. So the Ghana started their migration journey from Egypt.
Okay. Okay.
Just like Israel also started their migration journey from Egypt. So that country, Egypt, has done so many things and so many wonders. So many. But that's not what we are talking about now. So the journey, the genesis of the Ghana people is from the land of Egypt. And just like, in order to paint a beautiful picture that we can understand and our viewers could also understand, I want to connect the two. I will talk simultaneously the Israel journey as compared to the Ghana people journey. Just like any other migration, you get to a particular place, people will say, we want to settle. We do not want to continue. There could be reasons. Maybe they are weary, they are tired. Maybe they have also started a movement. They think they want to maintain the movement. Or maybe they have grown a particular business project and want to lose it. So they'll go. But when there's going to be separation, there is something unique that is always done. That is why the Ghanaians can trace themselves all the way to back. The uniqueness is they leave symbols, tokens, emblems, and languages, and then they give names to leaders. So just in case you change your mind, you want to connect to your people or you want to follow to your people, you bring those emblems, those symbols, and you can trace or connect to your people. You understand that?
Yes.
So that's why the girls can say, when I look at the symbols, the emblems, I was from Egypt. I have been there because my people are there.
Yeah.
Bringing it back again, then we came to a country called Ethiopia. The Ghans passed through Ethiopia. Some had to stay. The same thing happened. Emblems, symbols, names were also left behind. So this is it. Then from there we came to South Sudan, then Nigeria, the Ile, before we move to our final setting.
So before you continue with the migration story, we have another learned colleague just like yourself, and he's on the line right now. We want to pick his contribution to the conversation right now. His name is Professor Ebenezer Ayusu. He is a historian and a senior lecturer from the Heritage Christian University. Hello, Prof.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Afi o Afi.
Afi Abba.
Eya niebani now. Nakaini. Prof, I know you've done a lot of research about the Ga people. Can you bring your contribution and what you've gathered to this particular conversation?
I would say I've done some, not a lot. Yes, some. I don't think I've done much as compared to senior colleagues, and especially my revered teacher, Arino Dote. I don't think I come near them. But I've done some, a lot of, yes.
Okay, please. So what can you tell us? What can you tell about the Ga people and who they are, where they are from?
Generally, they are great people, whose worldview envisage the importance of strangers living in their midst, and which we highlight in their libation, calling on their deities and their ancestors to bring strangers to come and live with them. Ahani Ablikuma, Abakumawo. That's their philosophy. People who are very, we go back pre-colonial times, like all other ethnic groups in Ghana today, very enterprising and exploring nature as and when they get wherever they have to. The story about their origins, there are so many schools of thought. One has been made very classic by, I think, Homowo or the musician, claiming Wajeshan coming from Israel and others. But the historical study says that narrative it doesn't speak. It's not all that true about the Ga people. Yes, various stages of migrations have taken place. People have moved on elsewhere. But as far as Israel has been claimed, historians have been contesting that. And it's very difficult to disprove, to disregard it, and also difficult to accept it, in the sense that we are dealing with oral tradition. And incidentally, the people, the pioneers, are themselves gone. So we are only using various tools for the study of origins to make our interpretation. So yes, some scholars, including the Ga people, think or say they came from outside. Others say no. I will agree with those who say yes, they came from outside, but not as far as Israel or Egypt. West Africans here, yes, I do hold that. And then also their origins in present-day Ghana could be traced between the 13th and 16th centuries. So they are not young, very one of the older groups of people to ever settle on the great land.
Okay, Prof. Okay, Prof. Mimi, you have a question for him.
So from what we are seeing on our screens, we can see some men with, these guns and then gunpowders and all that. We want to understand, does it have any significance? Why can't we have the celebration of Homowo without, the shooting of guns and all that? I don't know if Prof can speak to that.
I would say that if you are migrating, if you move from one area to a new area, the idea is very new. I mean, you are on a journey to the unknown. And for that matter, you have to arm yourself with whatever implement you have, either as to control or to overcome the environment, in terms of wild animals, in terms of the forest, whatever, and also the possibility of people you might not know, who might also will not be taken easily, that you are coming not as 2 or 3 or 4 people, but a large group of people. So it's the use of the gun and whatever is, I would say, modernization of whatever implements they had on their way coming to the time when Europeans came and introduced guns and whatever, which they saw as very important replacement of whatever, yes, for the want of a better word, whatever crude implement they had, they replaced it with it. So, Homowo having, and they don't, even though they use it a lot, the intent is not to harm people. It's an implement that has replaced what they used have or they had before coming of gun and gunpowder. That's, for me, that is how it is. But moreover, our society's formation, social formation, revolve around warfare. And for that matter, during festivals, these our institutions and whatever which were formed around warfare. When you are showcasing them, obviously, implement for war and what you have will be showcased, and that's what they do.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Let's take your final wish to our viewers or your loved ones, those celebrating Homowo today.
In the first place, I wish the Ghana people, the king, the priests and priestesses, and all Ghana people, including my good old schoolmates from Ghana Secondary School and then Presbyterian Training College, Ekopong. I wish them Happy New Year. I wish them God's blessings, and that we should continue to live as one people, and that whatever contribution they have to make Ghana what it is, we should continue to do that. We, the non-Ghana people, we have to understand them the way we understand and respect our cultural practices, and then learn to live with them. They have their culture, we have ours. We've had a long history of intermarriages and what have you. Let's use that to live as one people. That's my wishes for them, yes.
Okay, Prof. Thank you very much. Professor Ebenezer Ayensu is a historian and senior lecturer at the Heritage Christian University, and he also shared his 2 cents into our conversation. Now, back to Mr. Nati.
Mr. Nati, you were talking before the...
Okay, so like I was saying, our recent settling is where we migrated, so we have moved from different places. Those who knew few stories say we come from Israel, we come from this. I wouldn't say we come from Israel, but we have a similar ruling pattern with the Israelis.
Okay.
And that is what connects us to the Israelis. You know, the Israelis, every king rules with a prophet. So the first king of Israel.
Please hold on. Do you mean Egypt or Israel?
Israel, I'm talking about Israel. I said I'll be painting the picture, the Ghana people and the Israel people. So that because the Ghana people, we don't have the visual or the reading of it. But you might have read so much about how the Israelis moved from Egypt to blah, blah, blah. And so I connect the two so that you can see the picture I am trying to paint.
Okay.
Like I said, the reason why people say the Ghanaians come from Israel is not because we come from Israel, it's because we have the same ruling pattern with the Israelis. And the ruling pattern is simply because all the Israelis, their kings, rule alongside with a prophet.
Okay.
The
So
first king.
for the sake of the indigents, I want us to switch a bit to Ghana. So I'm a
So you can do that for about a few
Just continue your conversation. Now we'll continue with the Ghana.
Now I love the name Chofayilo. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, the first king of Israel was Saul. And he ruled alongside a prophet called Samuel. After Saul came another king called David. He ruled alongside a prophet called Nathan. And Solomon followed with other priests. Okay, so the Ghana people also, we have our prophets, and we call them Bulome, which is chief priests. So you could see that our kings rule alongside our Bulome. So our Bulome are the deities for them, like they consult deities. Ameke nomo yuo. Ke kameba hama ke Yehovah no ke abaya bie abafe neke akafe neke. You understand that? So the king will also use their mandate as authority of the land with the information from the deity consultant who is the Bulomo. They implement it. Okay? Israelites run the same pattern and the Ghanaians run the same pattern. And because they see that similarity between we and them, we conclude that actually there was them because for few were not fair, no.
Okay, Prof, I want to ask something. So
my name is Samuel. I'm not prophet.
Sorry, Mr. Samuel.
Yes.
So you mentioned that the Ghanaians migrated from one place to the other. Does it mean that we still have, you know, a bit of Ghanaians in the places?
Amazing. A beautiful question. Okay. So I would like Manya to address that.
Yeah. Because I like the
I really love that name. Forgive me. If you can't mention your full name minus that, then forgive me again.
No, you can. It's
so Chofailo, I like that.
That comes with the name, but it has become so popular
The
that
Chufayilo.
people know and
Then
love the Chufayilo.
you would tell us also Chufani your owner, but Wababa Jen later. Tell us.
So, just as Prof said, there has been, and my brother also, started telling us, there's a migration route. And wherever we get to, obviously, if I'm comfortable here, why do I move? In fact, give me one reason why I should leave Accra and tell me which region to go to. You're not fair, no? I will definitely not go anywhere except for adventures, and perhaps these days we have professions and all that might take me somewhere, but otherwise, home is home. And for us, we have said that BLA, it is our home. But things warranted, or circumstances warranted, are moving from one place to the other. So let me not take you too far. We've been associated many times with Nigerians. And the leaders of today, some of us have retraced the roots. We have walked the path of the old. And we have come to realize that it is true. When you go and meet somebody who will tell you, based on oral conversations and signs and symbols, rites and all that, you get to know that truly these people were there. We always leave traces, marks. Some of the traces are names. Some of the traces are rites of passage, which Mr. Date, mentioned. Let's go not too far. From where we got the name Nai Wulomo. Nai Wulomo is actually, Wulomo means Wolumo, our Lord. We revere them so much that we don't even mention their names, because for us, they commune directly with God. So we call them our lords. And these people have powers that they operate with, or they have deities that they operate with, which represents elements of the world. Now, the Nai Wulomo, which we all mention, is actually the Nile. Nai is the Nile, because we always live along water bodies. Before gas will settle, one of the first things we look out for is water. So we got the name Nai Wulomo because at some point in time we were at the Nile Basin, and the one who was in charge, who communed with the forces there we called him Nai Wulomo. And we migrated. So from the Congo Basin all the way to Benin, not Benin as a Republic of Benin, but Benin Kingdom in Nigeria, the Nungwa people trace their roots back there. So they will tell you they are celebrating War Benin Shimo. It has become Obene Shimo. They celebrate it. It's part of their, So something triggered their moving from that place, and they mark it annually to remember how they left that place. And that's why they have Obene Shimo, Wabeni Shimo. So they left that place. You see? Now, when you come, so the Nungwa people, there's a part of Nungwa that goes to Benin Kingdom, and they are in touch with them. When you come to Gamashie, they will go all the way to Ile-Ife and tell you that their brothers are there, and they are accepted, So we have their high priest coming here to see Gamashie, and Gamashie going there because they believe that they are brothers. You see, when you get to La and Osu, the people of Aneho, when you go to Benin, Republic of Benin, and you go to Republic of Togo, they call them Anesho. They don't mention Aneho. But the people of Aneho are actually from Anesho. Not because they are from there, but that was where we left them. They were left behind. Later, some of the people of Anesho, Aneho, they came to La, and they occupied the Manklalo stool of La today. Okay. And that should tell you that we recognize that they are part of us, or we are brothers, or we are same group. Okay. And it runs like that. There are families that goes into the Volta region, and they have, families there. They go to Adan, they have families there. It is like that. So you get the kind of comfort you are looking for.
You never stop moving.
You never stop moving.
I see.
So that is all there is to our migration story.
Interesting. Which is before you come in.
Okay.
Or you have a follow-up to that?
Yes.
Okay.
So before we moved, we had a belief.
We people are saying
We. I'm a girl, so I'm talking in plural. I know you're a girl. Nice. The only odd person is our host.
She's my adopted daughter.
But we are being too biased. I told you that for the purposes of the discussion, let us not discriminate the twins.
Exactly.
So the Gadangbe people, you understand? So let's speak like, because they are twins.
Yes.
You can't separate.
So when I say we too, I mean Gadangbe.
Thank you
so
very much.
We should take it that
Let
way.
it be the basis of this discussion. I don't want to segregate.
All right.
We are twins. You can't separate it.
You can't.
So we had belief systems, and we know we have a creator. And Gans called the creator Atana Nyungo. That means it has a meaning, actually. And we have other attributes that we use as an appellation to our God. And I want now to throw a bit of a light to that. How do we see God? What's our belief system when it comes to the people of Dangbe?
Before she will say something, I would like to build a basis for her so that our viewers would understand better.
So that we don't look for trouble.
No, I'll build a simple basis. Listen.
Okay.
You know, when God introduced himself to man, okay, I take you back again to Egypt. That is where everything began.
Everything.
Now, when Moses had to meet God, he asked God, who you are and what do you do? He asked his name and what he does. And you know the reason why? From the background of Moses, from the training of Moses, they have different gods.
Yeah.
Their names and what they do. They have a god called Anubis, god of life. They have a god called Anubis, god of death. They have a god called Ra, god of fertility. So, when you come and say you are God, you are just one God, so you do one thing. Okay, so that's why God decided to, if you want me to be your warrior, I'll be your warrior. If you want I'll be your provider. So that is where the name of Jehovah come plenty. Jehovah Nissi, Jehovah Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah. So he just wanted, I am God, but I can multifunction in all these areas. So if you are sick, I'll be your healer. If you are starving, I'll provide. If you are barren, I will give you children. So anything you are going through, I will be that. So don't just limit me. So, okay, if I'm healing you today, call me healer. Jehovah healer. If I'm providing you food today, call me Jehovah provider. If I'm defending you and fighting your battles for you, call me Jehovah banner. So it becomes, but it's the same God. So we the guys should pick from there, from the background. Why we call God that? So sweetheart now. So the viewers can understand. I really want these comments very impactful to our viewers because distortions has been too much circulating.
So based on what Mr. Nate just said, I would say that, okay, Ike Achole, Ata na Nyongbo, the mother, father, overall. So he's a man when you want him to be a man.
Thank you.
And a woman when you want him to be a woman.
The basis has been declared.
However, he operates based on your demands and what you deserve.
Amazing.
That's all there is to this. So for us, Gans, because we are quite disciplined spiritually, we have various offices and office holders for these things.
Sorry, Kati, I would like you to hold on for us. We have Prof back on the line. He's listening, keenly to our conversation, and he wants to add something to that. Prof, please, can you hear us?
I hear you, and thank you.
Okay.
Before I was cut off, the gentleman was, who have the background, had very interesting narrative, trying to explain the connection between the Ga and then the Jews or Israel. He was bringing out the idea that when the prophets were, each king had a prophet working with. But the story of the Ga migration, Ga was a theocratic society. They were led by priests all throughout. And historically, we date the beginnings of chiefship of the Ga people to the beginnings of the European trade. If I'm right, the Homowo, their priests, had time when they could go to the sea, see the sea, do whatever they had to do with the sea and the goddess and whatever. But with the European presence, they need to communicate, go to the forts and castles at any given time became necessary. So their intermediaries were sent, not the Homowo. And eventually, if you look at the historical records, you realize that those who were sent to the castle on behalf of the priest eventually became leaders. So when they talk about the secretary, which is a corrupted English word of secretary, so we need to, I'm not a guy, but we need to make sure that the lines are clearly spelled out. Or initially, the priests were giving them. It's just like my people, the Guang people in the Kraten and other places where they did not have chieftaincy. Please note that I'm not saying they didn't have leaders. They had leaders, but they were not chiefs. They were priests and priestesses. And in the Ga situation, the chieftaincy emerged as a result of the European contact, the trade. Just as chieftaincy became established in the Kraten because of the Guang, Akwamu, rivalry, and wars. So that was something that I wanted to keep into explain. That if they really came from Israel, they were not led by chiefs and priests. They were led by priests and priestesses.
Okay.
Chieftaincy is
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Mr. Nate has something to also add to what you said.
Sure, I'm listening.
Is that
We should have an understanding that anytime there's going to be a movement, anytime that there's going to be a movement, there's always one person who inspires or instigates the movement. And it's addressed as the leader, a chief or an elder or something, anybody. So in the days of the Israelites moving out of Egypt, there was somebody who instigated the movement and he became the leader, and he is called Moses. Now, anytime a leader is going to instigate a movement, there are two things. It's either by inspiration, which is in connection with the deity, or by motivation, which is he analyzed issues and said, it is not worth doing it, so we have to do it this way. Sometimes it is both by inspiration and motivation.
Strategic.
Okay, so I go back again to Egypt, where Joseph has to stand before Pharaoh. Inspirational, he was able to interpret the dream of Pharaoh. Inspirational, so it has connection with the deity. But when he's done, the solution he provided was motivational. He has steadied the now, like Na said. And he said, this season, the now is in full harvest. Food are in bountiful supply. So let's do this. Yeah. Let's do that, and let's do that, let's do that. You understand that?
So anytime, and in the 14th, as way back in the 14th century, when we started recording, there was a first leader. He was identified as Ayikai the first. He instigated the movement. Alongside Gamashie. Gadangbe, please.
Gadangbe.
Because I've been to Nungwa, I've been to Teshi, I've been to La, and they all tell their stories about who their leaders were.
Exactly.
That's why when
There
this
is
name...
no movement minus
Without a
a leader.
leader.
So we have a leaders already, and they are kings for us. But they are moving alongside our Wulome, who are the priests.
Yeah.
So
They do the
mostly
check.
the priest will come and say, according to the signs
Validation.
and tokens or
Exactly.
whatever in the realms of the supernatural, we are supposed to move on. Just like Moses will come. Now we have stayed here for 40 years. Lord said, let's move, and then they move. That is exactly what happened. That's what I say, the picture I'm trying to paint, when I do that alongside the migration of the Israelites, it will be clearer. So no movement minus leader, and no movement without supernatural
Divine
consultation.
direction.
Interesting. Speaking about supernatural direction, let's go back to now. You were talking about, how we see God.
Exactly.
And everything.
Okay. So for us Ghans, we are very spiritual, not religious. So our leaders are...
I want you to emphasize on that. We are spiritual.
We are spiritual, not religious.
Thank you very much. Please, we'll come back to you. But we want to just thank Prof for his time and for speaking to that. Prof, do you have something to say to us?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
I'm going online to listen to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Ebenezer Ayensu. Hey, thank you very much for your contribution. This even tells us that people are really learning about the Ghana, history and all that. And I'm happy.
People. Honestly,
Yes,
Exactly.
we are.
You can't
We
really
are,
understand
and
you
it
people.
is for
Yeah.
a reason.
Yeah.
Your secret is your weapon.
Exactly.
And the more you reveal yourself, the easier you are as a target.
Yeah.
And because we know that we are a migrating people, we are a minor group. So we guard what we have so much. It is so dear to us that, look, I can fight you because you want to extract something that I have been warned to uphold. That's how we are. And I don't care if I will die because of that. There are many, many, many things we know, even in today's Accra as it is, that for some of us, we have sworn, we have been asked to swear an oath before it was bequeathed to us by virtue of where we sit, that perhaps I will die.
No.
If it is not up to the time I've been asked to give it out, I am willing to die, and I will celebrate that death that, yes, I guarded whatever was bequeathed to me, because perhaps if I give it out today, it will overwhelm us to a extent that we will be destroyed. And that is why it hasn't been revealed. That is not to say that it doesn't exist. So I'm saying again that we are more spiritual than religious. Now, going back to our belief system, the Ghans believe in nature. So we call God Ananyongo. And then we say he is Okleje.
Appellation.
Mau.
Okay.
Mau means something that nobody is bigger than. Okleje means he encompasses the world. So whether you go north, east, south, west, depending on what you call for. And when you break it down further, we have 4 elements that control the world.
Amazing.
Captain Planet's cartoon that we watch, they will say wind, water, fire, earth.
They are the elements of the world.
They are elements of the world.
Okay.
When you come to the Gadangbe belief system, these things work, and it's working today. And that is why if I have a function, okay, rain can fall at the Independence Square at a state function because perhaps state protocol didn't inform the right office that there will be a function during the rainy season. But if they inform, there are people in charge. If the Europeans does it, we think it is technology. But if we do it, we think it is fetish. Superstitious. So I will watch you and the rain will destroy that ceremony. But perhaps an old woman in my house can easily move the clouds to the next place just so you can do your ceremony. That's the kind of power we wield or we know.
And we wield.
We wield.
That's how they use that.
But it has so, hidden,
so noble about it.
so noble that people feel that we are all about happy. Yes, we are happy people. We won't cry because of you. Yes.
Yeah, nah.
So we have wind, water, fire, earth.
Okay.
These are the 4 elements. God sits on it. That's why Kwame Nkrumah chose, of all the stars there are in the world, Kwame Nkrumah chose that particular Ghana. God sits on top, and the winds are flanked by wind and fire. Down is the earth and water. And let me bring it down further, okay? So, La Kpawulomo is in charge of fire and heat energy. La. Okay. My tongue is not called Labadi, it's called La.
It's not Labadi. Labadi is not the name
fire,
of the town.
Heat, energy. Okay. Do you get it? You come to Gamashie, Ulomo is there, controlling all the water bodies.
Wow. Okay.
Do you get it? You go back to Nungwa, you find Bobu Ulomo, who controls, he's called Shiche because he controls the earth. You get it? Then we have the whirlwind, which controls and tames everything. Okay. Who is the Sakumo? Sakumo is the whirlwind. If you don't know, you don't know. Okay, so we are very deep people.
Exactly.
Mystery, actually.
Beneath that, on top of that, we try to, just so, because if we open Accra up for you to know what is in the greater Accra region, nobody will come here, I'm telling you.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so it has been limited to functional office holders who does it on behalf of the people, does it on behalf of everybody we are hosting, and of course does it for Ghana.
Interesting. Very deep revelation, and I'm very happy about it.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
Mr. Nate,
You have
let me ask you a realistic question.
You are really...
Mr. Nate,
I'm
let me ask you something.
I'm learning.
Today we are hooting at
we
hunger.
really want to...
Yeah, and you know the issue of food security, food insecurity, urbanization, modernization, and all that. Do you think hooting at hunger has changed over the time, looking at what we are experiencing now? Because people are hungry, yet we are hooting at hunger. Is there any...
Okay, so when you say people are hungry and they are hooting at hunger,
but I'm just saying that
we are very deep people. I say this on your station unapologetically.
Yes.
We are very deep people.
Very deep.
Very deep people. Very deep people. And I'm saying that again with that confidence, with that boldness. People were thinking Ghana people, because we love the coastal areas, is because of who is leading and what we want to control. That is why we always want to do with water.
Okay.
The Nile is found in Egypt, am I right? And the Ghana's people pronounce the Nile, but they call the Nile Nai. It's the same thing, water. And we have someone who controls it. So in seasons and times when there are challenges with water, they have people who speak to rocks for us to experience water. Moses did that. So all these things, some people literature did this. Literature is they document it and they are saying it. So we think it happened.
Some practice.
And some just want to be discreet about it or noble about it. What is hunger? At a particular time, for example, they said when the Israelites migrate out of Egypt, they got to a place where they also have to go through some challenges. So they couldn't hear from God. They were going through challenges because of their disobedience to the leader. And so God decided to punish them. Now, the Ghana people also had to go through the same thing. That's what I say. It's a story that runs alongside. So the Ghana people were also disobedient to certain rules and regulations, to certain leaders. So they had to go through certain challenges, just like the Israelites experienced in the wilderness. The Ghana people went through the same thing. However, now the one who controls the water speaks to water, and water is still not coming. Water is still not paying attention because he thinks probably he owns the water. But there's something that gives you the mandate to regulate or manipulate the water. And then the one who speaks to the earth, that there is no way that the earth cannot bear fruit, is speaking to the earth and it's not bearing fruit. Do you understand that? So now this became a big challenge, and then famine erupted the town. People have to die. Then the deities must be consulted by these women to see what has to be done, just like Moses has to go back to God over and over, so that God has to give him a solution. Well, then God is satisfied, say, now go and do this and do this and you'll be safe.
Okay.
I
get it.
Until I run this story, the Ghana people's story, alongside the migration of the people of Egypt, you won't get the picture we are painting.
Okay. Okay, that's well said. I want us to still talk about who we are and our belief system. I know people have their contributions when it comes to this migration story, but let us look at who we are. So when you see this person behaving this way, you can trace it that this is a gun. So I know we believe that spirits live in things, objects, things God created.
Exactly.
So a tree, you can see a gun talking to a tree or a small bush, and you know, okay, this is a gun. This is a leader or a spiritual leader. So this is our belief system. And so I want you to reiterate about what the Gans believe in. We believe in spirits because a person's soul, yesterday we were talking about the Twin Festival. Someone may never understand what we mean by Achema Susuma or calling of the soul, but that is who we are. That is what we believe in. Can you really talk about a bit about our belief system? I want Nat to contribute about it.
Susuma didn't happen by the Gans. The Gans are exercising the authority. I take you back to the book of scripture again. And the Bible says, and the first king of Israel, Saul, went to consult his priest because he was dead, Samuel. But he went through a different medium, a sorcerer. Say, Samuel Susuma Ahami. Here, show me the outcome of the time. What's the problem about that? So sweet that over the channel.
Okay, so
you understand? So that's a similarity.
Once upon a time, we read in a certain book, okay, called the Bible. We were told that Bafoko, a certain angel, came to a certain virgin called Mary and gave her a prophecy that a bafopi ko nakambile mokosrotukudi. Was it in a dream? Was it through divination? Was it through, a physical mode, face to face, But that should tell you that spirits exist. We are told that body, soul, and spirit, the Trinity. We are told that Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We are told that when Jesus Christ was living, he said that I am living, but I will live
the Comforter, who is the Holy Spirit.
Who is the Holy Spirit. Is it that because mine is a God, so then it is not holy? Is that what we're trying to say?
Exactly.
Is it because the mode through which the Israelites or descendants of Jesus, they call Jesus, is different from how I call whoever I believe in is called? That is why you think mine is not holy or clean. We need to learn. So now let's get back to who the Gans are.
Amazing.
Our belief system tells us that God created us, and he created spirits who operate in various forms and elements.
Thank you.
Just as you call Michael the archangel in times of war as a Christian, I know who I'll call. Okay, based on my tradition, customs and belief systems, I know who I also call. Because I am not from Jesus' tribe.
Okay.
You get it? I can learn things from this which will guide me in understanding mine, because that is documented. And mine has been bequeathed to me through oral traditions.
Thank you.
So we are all looking for same solution, okay? And going to war. The Israelites are going to war. They have who they call, who understands their language, who has taught them because they have lived with them. And so they will call him based on clapping their hands or blowing a trumpet. I have to call mine by combining kawe and using stones to light it. If it doesn't light, it means I do not have to go to that war. But if I hit my 2 stones and the flame comes and the kawe is able to give me
a light, a
a
fire,
flame, it means that what I want to do
will be
successful. These are how we are. And that is what defines us as Gadang Mebi.
like that.
I am called Na Adele Aje. That's the name or clan name. If you mention that name, they know where these names comes from. And they can narrow down all the way to my grandfather. They'll go to the house and they will see who my grandfather is. It is our identity. In your God. And I am not ashamed of that. I am more comfortable speaking my Ghana, depending on my mood. I know about job. And these are the things that makes us who we are. What joy, what la. See, we are fasting and praying. We have songs that when we sing, we have some that when we sing, you will know that it's a warfare. We have some we sing together with the drums, you know that the royals are coming. Let me know how to even sit, else I'll be found wanting. Now, if you just suppose ours and you want to measure it by all means with somebody's belief system, it won't work. Because then we lose our
uniqueness and identity.
Exactly.
That's how the foundation of this conversation started.
Okay, so back again to our everyday Ghana living and things that makes us Ghans. Prof mentioned Shikiteli. Shikiteli is a secretary. It's the lack of the appropriate or correct mentioning of it that became Shikiteli. Okay. And that is not to say that whoever occupies the Shikiteli position is a nobody. No. It is because in those days, the chief, and again, the word chief is pure European. It's not found
in the Ganyemo.
No, not Ganyemo, in Ghana. You are chief of who? Chief of the guards, chief of police, chief of this, chief of that. Okay. So the white man, the European, will say you are the chief of the natives. When you go deep into some of their writings and documentations, they refer to the chief because he is the representation who was asked to represent the people.
Exactly.
And who goes to war showing their very best. No way. I won't allow my Wulomo to go. No way. My Wulomo is a revered person. It is today that modernization has allowed us to see Wulome. And even in days of old, you can't. Even me, having gone through all the traditional rites that I am required to go to, I can't see him all the time. There are days they don't even see daylight. That is how, kingly they are. That's why we call them our lords. When they speak,
of the land.
it is final. Because they don't just speak. They receive it directly and speak. And then we fall on the priests and priestesses who manifest the various powers for further and better particulars of the direction that the Wulomo got and gave to us. This is how we operate.
With that knowledge, I want us to look at the Ghana governance system.
Great.
Who is the paramount and who are the subsidiaries?
So let me cut it short before we spend our time on this. Up until European or politicization of our everyday living system came, there was nothing like paramountcy. They are creations for administrative purposes.
Thank you.
You get it? When you come to the Ghana system, there is a child and a mother and a father. The father is the head. That father is a descendant of a certain clan coming from a gate. So you hear us speaking about gates. Now, under these gates are the head of family, Wekunupa, right? So even your father, before he will accept your dowry, will contact the Wekunupa.
Amazing.
Right? And the Wekunupa will go to his clan, which is the various gates, heads of the various gates. So if I'm talking of Agbawe, it's made of 7 different gates. So my gate will go to his brothers, who are the other gates, and tell them that my daughter, who is a daughter or a granddaughter of this man, is getting married. They all fix the date together and then take it to the Akucho che. The Akucho is the various families. Elsewhere, they'll tell you, Bretio, they'll tell you this, they'll tell you that. When you come to the Ghana system, we have Akucho Cheme. So we have Bese, we have Sempe, we have Akangaji, we have Agbawe, we have Leshi, we have all the various clans you see. In the Ghana system, the clans are the divisional leaders. And every Akucho, every Akucho has farmlands, have, beach fronts, if they are on the coast.
The coastal line.
Okay? So during the lean season of fishing, they farm. And during the lean season of farming, when they plant and they are waiting for crops to, grow till harvest, they trade. So it's a 3-way system.
The triangle of the Ghana.
You are either fishing during the fishing season, you are either farming during the rainy season, and when you're waiting to harvest, you trade whatever you have. So our Akuche Cheme are actually our divisional heads. And under that division, you find the various gates before you see the grandfathers, and then you see the fathers and sons. This is our system. Okay, so for administrative purposes again, when the European came, in order to penetrate, they needed people to deal with. Charlie, if you are fast, you will lead. Okay? Because you got to learn their language. We are gifted with a tongue. Yeah. So they bring the various languages here, we learn it. Without necessarily going to them. It doesn't matter which language. Girls are known to be very comfortable where they are. Okay. So we don't really go anywhere. In fact, the best is in Accra.
I know, right?
Do you get it?
Yeah.
But we get to speak all the languages because they bring the language and we are gifted with a tongue. It is because of our spiritual nature.
Thank you very much. Now, let Mr. Natia also share his input. But I would like to link it to our modern governance system. From what Na said, you could see that there's a hierarchy. We give respect to every leader. But we're in this country when we realized that there was separation of power issues and here and there. What advice would you give to the current government?
What she said is actually, for example, what has to be has to be.
Yeah.
So when distortions are created, they now bring confusion and chaos. You understand that? So, for example, I'll still want to support what she said with the Israelis. The reason why I always bring them is that it is documented. So when you go back and you read from scripture or from whatever literature, you get to the picture we were painting. In the early days, or even now in Israel, when people are introducing themselves, they say, my name is Mr. Lai, son of. Sometimes they go to the third or the fourth
generation.
Yeah.
They don't just go and say, I am this. No, it's never happened before. So they introduce my name is, and even when you go to scriptures, they say Jesse, son of, or David, son of Jesse, son of this, who is from the clan or the tribe of Judah.
We are limited with time,
So that's
in a few minutes.
What I am trying to say is governance is, paramountcy is not there, but now there has been paramountcy.
Okay.
Anytime leaders come together, there's a bigger leader.
Okay.
So let us just identify how the things work. We have the family tree of governance among the Ghana people. They know it. That they know. Whether it is documented or not documented, by the oral transition of information we know. So I would really adhere that we should ignore. When we think it is money, still there are other clans that has money that can bring to it. There are other clans that are gifted with wisdom they bring to the table. There are other clans that, so let it work. That's the unity of it. So we'll use this opportunity to propose that for us to enjoy the real identity of the Gadangme people, we must identify our original governance system. And when we identify the original governance system, we should just flow by that. No interferences, no interruptions, and no distortions. And we are going to get the sanity that the Gadangme people desire.
Thank you. We cannot talk about Homowo without Pukwe. In a minute, please talk about the significance of Pukwe so that we wrap up. Just a minute or two now.
Once again, I go back to our spiritual nature. Pukwe is an unliving bread. Okay, so we go through a period of fasting prayers where we nurse or plant our seeds. And then there's a ban where you have to relinquish all the enjoyments you have and then be in touch with God. It's a time of cleansing, a time of reflection, and it's a time of, rebuilding yourself, for ahead of the year that is coming. Now, when we are done with all that, what comes out of it, what you all see, is a preparation of the unleavened bread and what we got from the sea that we celebrate. However, for every time that we say that Aduma, or we are in a period of fasting and prayers, a lot goes into it. Last year, we knew that this year was going to be water, fire, and chaos. We knew it based on what is planned. If you don't know, we limit it. Next year, you all have to come on board and find out what we actually plant. Because seeds are given to people not for planting to get corn. We can buy corn, but there are significance of the planting. So you could be given something to plant to see how the health situation will be. He will be given to see how the weather will be, how prosperity will be. Based on how the seeds will germinate, we can tell the future or the year ahead. These are things we have to learn, and the God will not give it to you on a silver platter because we are a spiritual people. So for some of us, we are not surprised with things we are seeing in Ghana today because it has been told to us already. So these are the significant. We eat the kpekpele to celebrate that, yes, despite all the challenges, we still have life. Those who fought, those who prayed, however, they didn't meet the celebration. We ask for their souls to be preserved because we believe in the hereafter. It's part of the Ghana, system. So we sprinkle some for them to eat, not because they are eating physically. We also believe that birds and all sorts of animals, they help in the whole ecological system. So when we are eating, we don't leave them out. Some fishes come all the way here to spawn and leave bumper harvest in the sea for us. That's why we allow the sea to rest at a certain period, not by government locking the sea, but there's a reason for us to say this time we don't go fishing because we know that we have birth and we are waiting for it to hatch so that it can feed us and last the whole year. These are things that, yes, makes us gone. So when we are done with all that, we put some in the sea. A whole cow, several cows are dumped in the sea to feed the fishes and nourish them, just so they will be prepared to lay more eggs for us to eat. We also go into the various fertile places and preserve. Sometimes we have to cordon off a place, put a whole calico there. When you see it, you say, hey, it's one of their gods. No, we are preserving endangered species plants, which is depleting due to urbanization. We have to cordon off because we know that this particular medicine, it grows here and is used for something. So exactly.
We haven't started the conversation.
I have to make time and discuss this particular thing. I know. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be learned.
You see, so we say that.
Unfortunately, our time is up, but we have to make time and do a part 2 of Homowo.
Yeah.
Maybe when 10 days after, yes, we have to do this again.
10 days from now,
yes.
We can
yes.
sit again.
also be celebrated.
We have to.
Then we can talk about how the same Ga people, Labadi was out, La was out, Usu is out.
So 10 days from today, let's start counting.
Settled when we got here.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Okay.
10 days from today, we'll start with this conversation.
About our twin brother, the
The
Dan baby.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Well said.
Well, last week,
So we have to promise our viewers a good show.
Yeah.
10 days from today,
now.
right?
Yeah.
10 days from
10 days from now. But it has been, a very fruitful conversation here. I've really learned a lot. I'm just surprised. I'm just listening.
We haven't started this. I said we
And
have
you see,
misread
there is
people.
something about Greater Accra. Anyone who comes here settles. Like, when you come, it's like
because
God
we
loves
prepare the
the
place.
dance more than any
Which
other
you all
person.
don't
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
But it's because this is a place of spirituality. We understand the land, we speak to the land, we guard it and do everything needed.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mimi, you want to reignite the
I want to. So Mr. Samuel Nate is a marketing consultant, motivational speaker, event organizer, great historian, brand promoter, and also he's a father. He was our guest. And we also have our very own Najuyo Oshedu.
Woboloju ete
Chofanyelo. But you tell me behind the curtains, Chofanyelo.
So she's also a traditional leader from La Agbawe clan. Agbawe.
Beleng. Do you know Beleng? Beleng is the bomb. Beleng is the bomb.
Oh,
the
okay.
cannon.
You know Canon.
Yeah,
Canon.
yeah. And over the phone, we also spoke to Professor Ebenezer Ayesu. He's also a historian and also a senior lecturer at Heritage Christian University. I also did this with Beatrice Ado. I hope you've learned something, you've been educated about the Gans, and the Homowo celebration is still ongoing. We have a video of how the Pekwe or Pekle is being prepared. We have an extensive video of that, and also some well wishes from people who had a lot to say to their families out there. And so thank you very much for making time with us here on Culture and Festival. We hope to see you in our next production. We are out.
Shafi game wo wa homoyi homowo homoyi awa homoyi ewo homo yi na wa awo ni abahe mwe abahe lu abahe abele na kabaho bi anene ni wota ni wo fi one mi yemi ne ho nwe won sha pepo ni ke wo fefe wo gbina ba fe to mo nwe di mi manche me baba na ba shwa no di pepele wo sha mi di abele o ba fo gbeke mi wo ba fo keje tele ka ba fe ni ke abele afo so e ke so ha aya gbele e ke ho ake ni ni she wo gan afi won ye Homowo no wo ke Homowo ne ke wo fi o wo ho pepele no wo ho wonu wo emomi e wo kun o ka wo pepele mi no di keke ke iseta me manche enwe batwa keke le hu ikeshwa
ofane mimbia tashi ingme wonu ni aho no di normal ingme wonu ni wo hu alo ni afe bi konklo esolebe na aho le like mita male ni bi komeni akeho
o no di normal wonu ni aho ke pele esolo no boni wo hu wo wonu na kan no wo hu le
ofane ole oya sheko ni onta ni okeshemela oya wie mako no onta no okemoko ofane oya wie mako tomo sheke ha meni nkwabo biane
meni nkwa mi biane be mi amofia mo afi o afi ni wo afi ane ba ni na wo ni wo yegbo
wo yo mowo shi da so abena yo ha jayele aseleme wo yo kanko ya ofanko no ke be na ba twagbeje ten keke aba akwe school ka ba akwe school ba nye ka ba jeje ka ba je bi ke abuko ka je buku ka me ka ba na ba bie ka ba bie ke manche batashi le yempa ke no fia no egbe na ke ya ke te wo ba su laicho ko su laicho wo ba ya amachewe wo ba ya metre ke ka babie amesula chwe e ke mi hu ishele in la e ke nmu e man wo be na wa twa tu en ke sister what is wo ba shi me wo ba po me ona ke beni no mo ke ni bia na ba mancheme o kan ko ne ba ka bo ba she bi no wa bi o ba so la chwe fe wo ba su o la chwe me no ba su la chwe me ba su anani asu la chwe wo le ni e ke bi wo ba cho ka wo cho wo ka ba ya bi a cho je me ni po en wo ka ba ya je ko ke te je ni manche baba le ba shwan ke je ba chele fe ka ko ba bi ka ba bi ba cho ba bote bi ka je me e ka iskiti wo ya ke aka aselma me hia wo onupa hia akucho gbawo no ahie shwamo ne kan ho ka ba je bi ka ba ya adenkpo asela ite ne ala acho egbe na kala ehia je aba hwan no ye hia ka hwan keke afọdị kaka ke kan ebushika ke kan busha gbene aba fanka jeje kemba ka fanka jeje me kemba aba chona kan ko ba Wansi road oba na ke ko she London ba na ke Manchester eje anma sele boy ka teje me le won aba fe kusu eje ba yo pepele ka ye pepele gbena fa aba biye afi ale ba na wo ni wo egbo na wo sa agbo be ne water shi ne ken no mo ni ye ba ni na wo ni ken no alo te din kwa ka fo te ke be ko ba wo so water shi ni wo ko e dan na afile ahye twa ma
tafi be ne wo ye wala mi na afi na eje gbe sahin eje gbe ngon ato mi Beatrice bo tele o fe wo ke na mi ntomo asene agbo nshi ami mi ho ni ma lanteja we bi mi ho ni ma Gamashie bi le wo afile eje gbe sahin eje gbe ngon jente mo no ba ko nyo ba ko ebe mo pese jente wo ngon mene la wonja
mi amofia mo afi ane bandi na wo ni wo yegbo na wo sa Africa ata wo aba na wo shi mono ni o ni peji gamo nu pa ife afi ko be manche me fa afi ko me ka wo manche na wo le anu kwale mi ke police bemi ska wo le gbanu esa no ni to ke police ba na ke aka fiti owo ni bi me ni wo se na ma kwa wo ke ka gbegbe ama ka toto ami pa ni ka fe hu mene ka wabwe wose afọ dan don no je che yu mo ni yu aga market wo fe ko me si afa si aka manso je me afa ko me na sa ni hejole aba ko no nyimi bi na fe no ko na hin ke yu ebo ma mi ka yu ko mo ko me nke to pe for
afine mi na ke efi fine fi tutu kra efi festival motion fi beni previous day wona le ya na efi tumo no mo ke ni bi be wo ndan motion de ke wa nye mi na kan no shi no ne show gan bi pe je ko me fi mo ni ke wo fi ko mi e o wa ye ko mi da obi paga ma chema fire ati me ke ni bi fe ko pa nye fire ne ko anye kura gan ko di ga ya yin do fo ji gana
eke dede mawe koko mawe ni ayi mawe aile mawe ade ti do ni palita mi nya ni bibi o ai eke dede mawe ni ayi mawe ni ayi te mawe ade ti do ni palita mi nya ni bibi o ai mi kita mi dia no dada mi no ji wo mi semu ai mi kita mi dia no dada mi no ji wo mi semu ai asombo ni na ba muji mami o ai o say asere pokwa o popokwa abo abiso
ni ofanela la ni nyela mi nje shishen nyoma anyo ha mi meaning of lala nyela
eshishiji nini joro ni kanyo no ko no e no chamade ene je bo no kanyo no ko no na twi meni no ne kam ni no yo ye no mo le oni ne yo le we ba ye no bi ayo manche ye na aka won pele he aka won pele manche no ne bale na kan no ni gan fefe chukuchukuchukuchuku shi bi aji icho bi aka asene ejiga bi ayo manche ye wo ji asene gan ji asene no ni mi kebo no ni lalala ha bo
ni ofane ale no obanyo ha me ko menkwebo obanyo ha meshe mani ko bo
ni fa ne ni be kana me ni ko mi fe afi ane bani na wo afi na agbo wo ye gbo na afi be ne gafe fe ko wo sa wote no fe fo o manya ane bani ba bra fe to ado manya ba.
I'm currently here at the land of Gamashie traditional area, specifically at Agbo, in the Ododio constituency, where the Homowo preparation have already begun with great energy and enthusiasm. You know something? When I arrived here, everywhere looks charming, vibrant. You could see the women are busy preparing kpekple, and I would say rich with cultural significance as they commemorate their annual Homowo festival to hoot at hunger. So as the community comes together to celebrate this special day, I'll be speaking to some traditional women, especially with those preparing the kpekple, to note what they are preparing, the ingredient that is being used in preparing the kpekple.
Asafuache a sound of brony Niji Enyono She Inka Gamanche Fio Kusuni if you're fanky no one no heje ni Indomobia Indomo Senshina na tuntu Bia Gieni Sen yo no Senshina and Domo. Mene ake eshe afie no mu eba kiti esha ni ke no mu eba kiti esha esa ake wo ba wale eja ake mukome kiti esha no wo fe ke wo bi ene won wale ni ekiti esha ni toyin wale aba ndojino ni woni ona wo fe ni wo blo natale ene wo blo nya atale wo wo
ye mo ke an nya nyime
no ni poteni manyema wieji ake me ni fio ta flache poto ani bebe ke basabasa afen ke ameka me ni ye oui na me shele ke nye jala mi eje no papa ni ke fe na kan ewo wo fe ke wo himuchi no amekpa na kan ni efe mu ko ni nyemi afe nyemi bi alebi menale akashi mene in player ni no share mu fio ni yo amedino ni especially more on drug abuse le pata wo fe wo bi ahin no keji wo ba bi ake na me wo ba shi wo se wo ha me ni wo ba shi wo se wo ha ja ke ni afọ gbikomi le ken ni ken bo wo ba ko se no ya no na me wo shi wo se wo ha no won pafai mo fe mo abomoden ni eke ebi ana chose mo wie mo
yo mi o o ite fe manya bra afi ane ba now afi na pe o wo fi mu gbanyo ani na wo alon te dinko akafo wo ten ke wo bole kutu enu wo pe wo je wo nu e ta fa che ke wo ye wo nu e wakojiano ajo ene penge anya fine nsi fa afen keto
wo ye Gamashie ni wa abia ke na menji Gamashie bi ni negbe woje
yo tamo sane no bi me sane baba wo bi me si enaje mo le unfachon nde boni ma je fe na si no ni ma yue na menji game me ko me ke guam bi ya me como que o amefita gwambia si me e ko e ko whether me jiwo je me jiwo no ninka ke game jiwo me como que o game Israel bidiame na me je Israel si me nke no pagbe e ja ko kwe tafrache ngbomocho tomo Israel bi de ninsusumo tomo boni Israel bi suso sino ni yoji tafache wo fe ma de sanji wo ni ke okwe nsu kembano medijin jiwo niji Africans agbene no kome le na yoji lo na yo na kwa ke wo tomo Israel bi ro no kwe tafache mi ngba ke si Israel bi ameka wo ba pe ye Egypt ni tafache wo ba fe ko te fete ameka wo ba pe bible le den je ke eke Jacob bi Joseph na ho le akelete Egypt ake nyon aloje naka no na akelete Egypt ake nyon ni le ni yo ewo e agbla Pharaoh ni no me yo elamu ke ni bi ami no ewo Pharaoh fele prime minister no ta flache no me na me ni your Pharaoh eje woje ko me unke no me dijin your Pharaoh ni ji Nubians ama me your Pharaoh lo manche ye Egypt no be ko leje meje ni wa pe ni keji bible e po denje ko kan de no me Israel bi loju bi amebekusun si Egypt ye omo eja ke si beni Abraham po kenga Sarah te Egypt ni Pharaoh bi la ke o awula e ga enyemini e ka kenga eja ke segbe akeke kenga ni be Pharaoh but Sarah for Pharaoh ba gbele ni ngano e ka enyemini si ona ke fe ke won gbasane sani wo kwele in broad terms wo gbele mi wo kan narrow le fe tomo won chon floor name si sanu wo gbele ja o ba nyo ajepo egbe na no ko chon bi o ba ajepo no sanu wo gbele mi ni wo keji Israel bi na me ba nina Egypt bi lo am ba in Egypt na me ba fe gbe me ko me be ni chon de ne o chon Egypt e omo e ja ke bible e po ke Egypt yo omo no me abe Israel be ni Egypt yo Israel be no me Israelite say ta frache am to pla lo no am be he ko me chi Egypt ye ni mani ne ye kusun ke no fe no am ba mo na to am gbe na eje je me mo ko la me ba ni na kusun ni mene afio eja ke si keji o botemi eko te frache no ni oni me pe yo age wo game Israel bi diwo amenye pa me no ake si Egypt e yo mo dan Israel bi ba ni ameke kusun ko me to ni bi ai mi jo ake no ko to no ko to mo tafrache ke afobile bipa no sana wolegbe no wogama kusuni abache nu ke nu njile abache leketia wogama kusuni si jemen mimbi midenche mimbi yake naka eja kama ke Abraham ke nyumbo femini ekele tiapan lo ekele kakita ke o ke fobi nu be ba wo ekole be no ame ke ba hawo tagbene no na se ni ake ni gbeke jimi na fomi ye kan afomi ye Gamashie ye wekusiami mbanina ni keji nungbo ake nga akele ha ese honu lo enyemi bibi honu ne ekele hionsi ne ekele fo ni nakani e Israel bi akusumi no ani nakani bi ne ha ni Israel bi wolo alo frache okpe eko ni wakase wo he ni ake ni wo ye omo e lo wo medijin wo yo omo ni Israel bi ba ni na wo keke o ba feta wo ye ne ken ji bo ni wo yo no be bon hin sinaka na me wan ba hin sinaka I don't know.
Ye bamomi ake o ake Gambi je Nigeria me chomo Nigeria ile ife ke
Togo ile ife le Nigeria
ye Togo ni ami ani Germany Gamashie bi hu chomo ke ba she eni woyo bia
ne ke sanene je Gamashie bi pe eja ke si nkane woloko ye research fe mo mi ne chon wa ke medijin nu mi ble mako eche denche ninu mi woji mancheme ye Egypt lo jemeji inde ake na kan bia mi ni Israel bi lo eja ke nu mi ame begbe Abraham Jacob ke bi ba ni na wo eje no ele nde gbe ninu mi ake to ame eja ke woloko echoko gbe un ni ake to ame si age we ko nke mi ake si mini bani mendi dien si na kan Egypt ke chon Sudan ke ba south of the Sahara one ni susu yolo tafrache nye ni nke twemo afi no fen si Kenya ko ulo e bi e fiu ni nko fiu e bi e chon mi gbe ko ake o ne kenji boni mo no mi ake mini ke gbalogbabo e bo ngbo e no ka nwa wojimpi no kan efe be ba susu e ko e mi ake o be ne ke mo hani bem eja ke Chancellor Williams ye woloko mi ni ekemini the destruction of black civilization ona 4500 BC to 2000 AD ni chonka the point black say amen jofu me no amen jofu ega anya me say no it's either you run for your life lo beno jofu enwe the flash na nyo so lo enu onyo fe mo no me baba eke homo baba nike homo ba bema mi ne ke ba he like ba no na ke ni bi na fe nsusu ya nke aloje meje ni mu won wo fitai ni wo jofu ni wo ka ba se no se the flash je le fe wo je no na yo si won fue je mi be agbene ke mba homo wo yele mi aloje naga no ma sumo no bi ho sa na ko ni magbla mi ma cho
mini ke Homowo ba
Homowo tafrache kema bi ni nye ye ko mi nye fi onyengo nye na ni sika ohienfu e tafrache obe ko mi ni baba wokola ke tomo bi ene ni wo yo ni na nye wo solo ni wo ya nso mi be wa chomo loyi alo mi male eja ke gbomote nso mi egbo mi male no bi ene ne fe tomo wo se bi be woka nye wa ya cho mi wo nye wa ko e mi eja nye wo se keje ko e mi no ba se bi no wo beneke wo se nye mo na nye ne ni tafrache wo nye wo fe mu ni wo duni ni wo pa ni eni ni tafrache aye no ke gbele ke ni bi ba helai ke ni bi no he ni wa to ni wo nye wo fe mu ni wo duni ni wo pa ni ni wo hame lo wo fe wo ye ko ni wo no keji no ji no ni ke Homowo ba eja ko ko Homowo alo wo gama sorry ake wo migrate keba no ke o migrate money nyo se na ipa ko se nye mo bo pa fueje no te fi o ten o na agbe no dun oni ni o pa na ke si akọ ake neke wo ma dumo ke ni bi po e won tumo sinle won tumo mi ero mo ji mi ni tafra chen ya ma ngom mi nchu ma mo nu tumo fe ni nko ama ke te won noko fe mo kaji ese como be ami no ke fi okuso that time me sani okwafu ya me fe mi ni ame kwa me ngosi amba hu amba sa me momi ame ba duni na me ba pa etomo boni wo fi o ma dumo no ni na gambia me keji tafrache o ya boy kola ko boy o ya hu momi no adun be ba se no ba pa ni nye me mi bienza ko dun ni opa ni ko dun be sa no sai e ja keji ekwen jo ehun ba e no sai mi ni baba e ba ye ni no dun no no na nuko no ba pa
ifo na shi mambia ke mini ji wo gamai ahemo ke yili kumi
ji wo believes wo believe ake shi tafra ko gboko no hani ayon pai na ko ake ganjo lo gafomo bi e ko na su o ka ke su lo ko na edin o ka ke edin e ja ke shi tafra che mini ba ni po bo gafomo bi no le lo akebu jebu ni obeni akebu po dago ti wo yen mi ololo lo be no ba da won na kan ni ebote osusu momi ojo emomi no ani ka ba wo bigbe na akwa aka aya wo bilegbe ye sian eche ma lo eni ma sian ye neje ni atawo moko ni tafra che mene onyo ka ke o ke ju ba pete lo ke fon ba pete simu atawo gbomo ni eche na akwa ke le ba domosi le femini echu gbeken eni
mi no ni wonye wo ye gbese mancheshia ni menegbene Gamashie fe ye Homowo ni ho na bia ne mi she noko ni ake hoot at hunger. What we say in English is hooting at hunger. It's a massive celebration. You hear casketry, so much being done here today. There's a display. These are cultural displays. You can hear the Bese manchewe Homowo no mi wonye Gamashie mi yo Homowo o kweni fe moy ke tuina tra fe chobake menegbine Gamashie yo Homowo. This is a massive celebration here when you come to Gamashie today. It's all about Gamashie Homowo.